Hey everybody, it's Dr. K and welcome to Misogynoir in the World. This is a YouTube series and podcast that talks about how misogynoir shows up in different places, in different industries, and in different disciplines. My pronouns are they, them, Beyonce. Yes, I said Beyonce. And today we're going to be talking about misogynoir in horror. But for those who may not know what misogynoir is, let me define it for you. Misogynoir is the unique hatred and discrimination towards Black women because they are Black and woman. But this doesn't mean that you have to be a cis-het woman. This also includes those that are agender, non-binary, and all of the full spectrum of genders that we have. As long as you are femme presenting in some way, you may have experienced misogynoir if you are Black. So I'm really excited for today's guest. They have a podcast called Girl That's Scary, which is horror podcast ran by two Black femmes. And I brought them on the show today because I really wanted to get their perspective on how misogynoir shows up in the horror scene. So I would like to introduce Jazz, the 40-ounce connoisseur, and also Kat, aka Cat Daddy. Thank you all for joining me today. We're going to jump into these questions, okay? All right. So the first question is, how does misogynoir impact horror films?
Okay. Well, yes. I mean, just yes, the same way that kind of racism is, but a lot of times Black women are just invisible in a lot of these horror films, just like Black people that, like, you don't even see Black people in a lot of the films until like maybe the 60s, and you get like one, maybe, you know, unless it's like Blaxploitation or it was like the race films where it was all Black productions, because they were not allowed to be in white Hollywood at all. But then once you start mixing them in, they was like, all right, we're gonna have Black women, but it's only as like a sidekick, or like not at all, because a lot of times the Black characters are men in the movies and not Black women, unless they're supporting like another, you know, femme white character usually. So it just shows up in that you are the homegirl, this is your box, or you don't get to be in the movie at all for the most part, up until recently. And still it happens, depending on the creator.
That's pretty much it. There are very seldom, I can find little people in horror period who are a Black femme or identify as a Black femme or femme presenting character. That's a lead. That is not, you know, the help, air quotes. That is not a sidekick. If, like Jazz said, we exist at all, there are a lot of people's faves who, I mean, not even just Black women or femme presenting people. Black people don't exist in their universe at all.
New York,
like, think about that, even like when you think about, like, you know, superhero movies, and if something was drawn one way, then everybody's got their arms up in the air and upset because now they want to make someone not white or not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not landing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also with creation, as soon as a Black person makes something, they pull out the critique measure of how bad this is or how awful this is. That recent Candyman movie that came out, it was people giving that movie 0 stars. 0 stars.
Wow.
0.
I liked it.
When I tell you, even if you didn't like it, you know, it's cool if you don't like the movie, but I'm trying to understand, where are we getting the 0? And this movie is woke, because, you know, if a Black person made it, it must be woke, or Black people putting themselves in the movie makes it woke. So, you know, that's always, if we make anything, they about to tear it to shreds.
I know that must be, when you all first started your podcast and like got into horror, that must have been difficult for you guys, because you all were kind of forced to cover a bulk of movies that had people who didn't look like y'all. And I know that, like, February, Black History Month, all the communities are trying to make it super special or whatever, but I'm not gonna say it's surprising to me, but I'm just like really surprised. I'm shocked that in 2024, it's still very unlikely that you're going to see Black women leads in a surplus in a horror film. So my next question is, what have you witnessed being in the horror community as it pertains to misogynoir? So just for the folks to know, these folks are celebrities. They're famous basically in the horror community, and they go to cons and they do trivia nights and they do movie screenings. You know, it's just giving very much so bad bitch. So they're around all these different types of people. And I've always been interested to know, Like, what has your experience been like? What have you witnessed as far as misogynoir in the horror community now that you're a part of it?
It's the way that people talk to you on the internet. Because a lot of times when we say Black people are hyper visible on the internet, but also invisible on the internet. So like we'll be doing something, or Black people be writing and living their best life, and then one time, like a white person stumbles across you, they're gonna assume that you don't know what you're talking about directly. You clearly must be new here, because look at you. You're not from around these horror parts. You can't know what you're talking about. You can't have accolades, because a lot of times our friends, they write, we do things. Some people produce things, make films, and people will talk to them like you've only seen 3 horrible movies. It's almost like when you see femme presenting people go into anime and horror cons, they be like, name 3 animes or name 18 animes. What they do in this arc in this season. I see people talking to you like you are not an expert. They are making the assumption already that you don't know. But any random white man could come in and say whatever, and they can be like, yeah, Tom, that's right. But let me say something, and then they got to nitpick or find a reason to, find a reason for me to be wrong. Or people will come up and be like, I witnessed somebody, and this is something, if you are familiar with the horror community, this is a big thing. Somebody had a similar name as somebody else, and the real popular like podcast platform came down on the brown women and were like, oh, y'all name is similar to our name, blah, blah, y'all need to change y'all name. And meanwhile, the name itself is a pun off of a very popular movie. So you don't own the rights to it anyway, because clearly this is a movie, and there's so many podcasts. So it's not just those 2. There are several podcasts with that pun, and a lot of them are white, and that creator looked like they didn't reach out to them. But you want to come to the Black people and be like, you need to change your name. Like you was going to bully them and throw your weight around. And I'm just like, what was why was it the Black women? And we all know why, because they feel like it's an easy target. We're Black, but we're also not as intimidating. So they're not going to pull up in the man's meeting because we're women. So they're going to come up to us because they can intimidate us or manipulate us. I don't like that. I don't like that
either.
My internet was going brazy, so I wasn't sure if you mentioned it at one point, but I was just going to point out the fact that look at how many people that existed in the space, one in general, prior to us, starting, and then how many femme presenting people existed then too. Like, shout out to I'm not sure if you know Xena, your best friend who loves some horror. Like, she and Ivo Trays are one of the first people I came across on YouTube. But when you go up on YouTube and you look at reviews and stuff, like, you'll see more Black folks now. But pre-2020, like, who are they? Where? Like, and not even just that. And these folks are going toe to toe with people I know. And I'm glad that people have backings, and that's cool. But people that, you see, and you should be like, okay, like, you should be farther than where you were. Like, you have a lot of information. You've been doing a lot of work. What's going on? But then you think about documentaries that now exist, like Horror Noir, where you not just see like Black people in general, about femme presenting folks. And it's just like, you see how many people, are we all going through the same situation. And it's crazy how long it is. It's crazy that it's just now 2024 that everybody had to create their own situation and push it to the front. Create them like we always do. You got to create your own.
and work twice as hard.
So just gonna hold my nose, because there are a lot of things like I don't understand. Like, we with films and stuff, and not just the space, but like just the people in general. Like, it's there.
I can only imagine, especially because like the horror community is like overwhelmingly white. So I can only imagine how you all felt, especially when you first start going to cons and stuff, and you all were in these spaces with people who didn't look like you, and how they treated you or talked to you, or how they like approached you, how they had conversations with you. Like, I'm sure that there was some Black sense involved, but I'm also sure that there's probably been like a little hateration too, as well. Like, people not liking the idea of 2 Black femmes getting opportunities to talk about something that they feel like they have authority over.
Yes. Also, speaking of which, you unlocked a memory. I'm like, I remember we got badges to go to this car. Like, we were talent. We had all these badges. We had like multiple badges on, and the security let us through. And then the other security later saw us coming through and stopped us again because, oh, these niggas can't be coming in here. Oh, they can't be, getting past. Like, you must say, oh, you got to wait in line. We're talent. Why would we have to wait in line? You're not treating nobody else like that on that little row. You just letting them right on through. Why are you stopping us twice? Yes, like I'm not. No, And we pay extra, like we didn't pay for that one, but if we do, we usually pay extra so we can skip the line. But even still, you see this badge and you saw the black man security who let us through. Did you assume he wasn't doing his job? It's for you to come and stop what you were doing to come pull up to us. Or when we be playing music and people want to tell us to turn our music down, but they're not telling nobody else to turn their music down. Or, just them little microaggressions. Like just real, and definitely heavy on the black scent. People who you have listened to them, they've never spoken like that before in their life. And then when they see you, it's all of, I'm like, wait a minute, where'd this from? You've never spoken like this before. This is brand new.
This has me thinking a lot about different like communities and like spaces of folks, and how Black women a lot of times have to forcefully create safe spaces and find the other Black women, even if they may not align with the other Black woman. Because they are a Black woman, they feel like, oh, I have to be in community with her because she's the only one that looks like me. And hopefully she doesn't have internalized misogynoir, because that comes up as well. And that's something that definitely needs to be talked about. But this makes me think a lot about just stereotypes and tropes and how they come up in movies, in particular in horror films. And I wanted to ask you all, what are some tropes or stereotypes that are misogynistic in nature that you see in horror films? Please give examples.
Any film where they have the Black girl character being like sassy to the point where she's like rolling her neck, and this happens in a lot of films where you got the Black, okay girl, why would you do that? I'm just like, do y'all know any other Black women? There are quiet Black women. They're introverted. They're never like, almost never you're getting an introverted Black woman character. They're always outward, extroverted, and high energy. They're always like that. But rarely you get the quiet Black woman who's just minding her business, reading a book, hanging out.
I'm thinking about Sacrificial Negroes, and I'm more so, I hate how they did my girl Alfre Woodard, and they made her sacrifice herself for the white family, and I was just like, wow.
Movie
and
was
she's
this?
not the only one.
Annabelle.
Wasn't it set up? Thank you. And it's not just her, like it happens in so many. I'm thinking about Ma. For those who I'm sick.
Sacrificing for the white man. That happens a lot. Or white characters, or going back for the white character. And in real life, you're not about to do that. You made it out. You about to turn around and go, no, that does not even make sense. That does not even align with people who actively face danger all the time. Why would I go back to the danger? That's stupid. But we have to save the white character.
For you. Like, why do I have to die so you can live?
Which is a good point that is posed by The Girl with All the Gifts towards the end. If y'all have never seen that, it's a good zombie movie that does have a Black main character who's a little girl. And towards the end, that question is posed. Why do I have to die so you can live? And that's just always like every Black character is, I'm going to turn. I think I saw something recently. That's 2024. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I need to write that down. Why do I have to die?
No, because really,
so you can live.
You gotta be bigger than that. Like,
we have to be. We just have to be. But also just the character. I just don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate the low value they be putting on the Black women character. Their value is attached to the white lead, and that is annoying. Movies like Fresh, which was a decent movie overall, but the Black character doing all of this, her whole arc was following behind her white friend. We don't know nothing else about that character. And that is the story of so many Black characters in movies where, we don't know nothing else about the craft. You don't know nothing else about that girl outside. She was hanging with them white girls, and her problem is the girls don't like her because she's Black. That is all her character.
Her parents?
You don't even, they're in her house and you don't see her parents. She doesn't have
Very
one.
strange. Very strange behavior. And then I guess, y'all may indulge in like horror literature. Do like Black women come up in horror literature at all if it's not written by a Black woman? Let me make that clear.
Okay, no, if it's not written by a Black woman, I don't really see a lot of Black characters in general, and if they are, they're men. Like a lot of times where I go to Stephen King books, the one Black character, if there is one Black character, it's a Black man, or there's no Black characters and the racism is still jumping out, although there are no Black characters at all, but we still saying the N-word. Ain't no nigga in the book. What is going going on? But
Okay.
if a black person writes it, like Octavia Butler, you're going to get black people. Or I think Alyssa Cole, I just read one of her books, When No One's Watching or something like that. Read it in like 24 hours because it was black, mostly black characters. You had some white characters, but it's a lot of black characters in these books. So then you also know that, okay, it's a lot of black characters. All the black people can't die. Or there's going to be one black survivor at least, because you got like at least 15 black characters versus another book where you got that one black character. Or they're just using the black character to talk about the racism in the past, and they don't really have a role in the story. So, you have to read black authors to get black characters in general a lot of the time. It's just, and they just not, and honestly, I don't know how I feel about white writers writing the black characters or the Latino characters, because they don't do it well. They don't do it well. I was seeing somebody else not mock, but they were talking about, every time you read about a Latino character in the story, is my mom was making this kind of, cultural dish, and then the smell of this. And it's just like, it's overkill. That's like if you writing a black character, you come in and the hip hop is playing and they were wearing their, and I know it's NYC, Aniche pants. Like, what? Come on, please, bro. Like, they were carrying a boombox on their shoulder. It's just like, it's like when you see the black character enter in the scene and they immediately play hip hop. Like, why you nigga up for that? I'm gonna notice.
Weak. No, for real. It's giving McDonald's commercial, honestly.
Ooh, the McDonald's commercial. They try to freestyle.
It's really giving that. So I want to thank you all for joining me. I know this was a short conversation, but I do want to give you all an opportunity to let people know where to find your work and your podcast. And I am really excited that you all are my first guest on my show. And I think that, a lot of people are going to really enjoy this conversation because they may not have known these things about horror at all. And they also may not know that we are in horror. Like, Black people are talking about horror on podcasts, and y'all need to catch the fuck up. All right, so y'all can just let us know where to find y'all at, and then we'll close out.
Yeah, you can find us on all the things Girl That's Scary. If you type in Girl That's Scary into the Google machine, I know Google ran by the AI, and it's not accurate right now like it used to be. But Girl That's Scary, you gonna find us. Girl That's Scary. I think we on Twitter, Instagram. What's the Girl Spill? Blue Sky.
Twitch.
Cats, everything. Dogs, grandmas.
The pit bull in the corner, she pregnant.
They pregnant. Everybody pregnant.
Well, thank y'all so much, and I really appreciate having y'all on this episode, and I will catch everyone else on the next episode of Misogynoir in the World.